It's BumbleKast Live. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Kraus.
Hello, hello. We are here. We're early. This is weird. This is strange, but we are here. Ian is sick,
Yeah,
and that's cool.
I will do my best to get all the way through the show, but by the end, I'm starting out like this. By the end, I might be this, but we'll see. We'll see how we can do.
We'll see how things go.
As always, big thank you to Jennifer H. and Professor Rye for managing all the questions. Please limit yourself to one question at a time. Wait for it to be answered. We will get through as many as we can here in the next 2 hours. If you want a 90 to 80% chance to get an answer tonight, make it a super chat of any denomination. Any super chats that we don't get through tonight will be rolled over to the next priority Q&A session that we can get to. Kyle, have I forgotten anything?
No, but Jen just said something, and I don't know what she said.
Well, then, let's check what that was. Over to you, Jen.
What did it? What?
Who doesn't have a mic?
I'm gonna say probably more like a 50% chance because the supers are rolling in.
Yeah. We're having a lot of supers. We have a lot of supers. So, I do want to say we did, as of last time we did this, we changed things. So we only one super chat, because man, you guys are like very, very good. You guys are very good to us, and you send in a lot of super chats. We very much appreciate it, but we also want to get to some of the standards. So if you send in multiple super chats, we're just going to do the first one, and then we will see if we have time and we can get to more of them. But yeah. If you send in more than one super chat, we'll put it in the queue for being on a priority episode later. So I don't know if that was confusing or not. It probably was, but
basically we're going to be prioritizing any of the super chat questions. You'll get one answer tonight for surezies, and otherwise you still will have priority in whatever our next recording session is. Standard questions will all be added to the gigantic cauldron that you can swim in of standard questions that we will get to potentially before the heat death of the universe.
Yeah. Because there's just so many there's so many super chats. And it's like you can almost monopolize the show by sending in just super chats over and over to us. So we very much appreciate that, but we really want to get to a variety of questions from a variety of askers. So, and also do not tag Jennifer in the chat in the YouTube channel. Do not mention Jen. She's trying really hard. So don't at her, bros.
Don't at Rye either.
That will not increase your chances.
No, that will not help. That makes things worse. All right. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the first question. This one is from Raphael C. Spinball has 16 emeralds, but only the manual said those are Chaos Emeralds. The game never says that. Are they a different set of gems now?
Like officially, canonically nailed down, TBD. Call them fake emeralds, call them rupees, call them shiny glimglams. I don't really care. It's don't get too hung up on the rigidity of the like old classic canon. It was the Wild West, man. Mm-hmm. There was no singular unifying vision.
All right, here's this one from Katare Station, or Katare Station, I believe. I believe that's it. What if Rouge and Jules switched roles but kept their personalities? How would the events of Sonic Adventure 2 and Heroes have played out in this scenario?
Rouge and Jules switch roles but maintain their personalities. Well, I mean, Rouge, I guess in that case, is running the Mineral Museum as her personal hoard. Like, that's just her personal collection. She calls it a museum, maybe for a tax write-off, but it's hers. And you can look, but you can't touch. She will break your ankles. Jewel, on the other hand, I guess she's out looking for rare gems and treasures, to catalog them. It belongs in a museum, sort of thing. So I guess she winds up in Eggman's facilities searching out for a treasure to take away from the bad man, and maybe put in that nice ladies museum. Only, oops, she found Shadow and Omega, and she's kind of just roped into this revenge scheme. Like, she doesn't really want to go, but there's a treasure out there and it needs to be protected. So, and then SA2, I can't do that one for you. Sorry. And she'd go for the Master Emerald. Knuckles would say no, and she would go, "Oh, terribly sorry," and leave it alone. And thus she writes herself out of that story immediately.
That makes sense. That makes some sense. Here's a question from MSP Nova. Starline's never-ending isekai adventures continue to never end, and now he's entered the world of the BumbleKast chat box. How does he handle the chat writing more isekai scenarios for him? This is getting very meta. I don't know what I don't know how much deeper we can go on this, Ian. I don't know.
These insufferable isekai adventures. The only way I can stop it is to distract them. Oh, I know. It's 3 minutes until show. Tappity tappity tap. Floor it.
Yeah, that must be it. That must be why everybody's freaking sending all the questions super fast. Thank you, Starline. Prick.
OMG, does anyone else want to roleplay in the chat during the show? Let's make sure to make it graphic.
No!
Who can I send to raid the BumbleKast? I will burn this show to the ground.
Good. At least someone's going to do it. All right. Here's one from Happy Times. If Starline's plan to replace Eggman, Sonic, and Tails succeeded, how would he have handled Sonic's friends? Have Surge and Kit infiltrate them, replace them with more imposters, kill them off?
To a degree, he would try to integrate with them, have Surge and Kit perform the role of hero, and in his mind, win them over so that he is controlling everything. But he, for all of his emotional manipulation, he doesn't understand people. So that would not go very well. And that would turn into, yes, I have to destroy them because they are messing up with my Machiavellian control of the meta narrative. And that would not go well because they're all very capable heroes, and he is not Eggman. So eventually he would be ousted by the very people he's trying to incorporate into his grander worldview.
All right, let's go ahead and switch over to some super chats. Sounds like a plan. We have many already. We're like at least 30 plus deep in already.
Good night.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Yes, you guys are amazing. All right, let's go switch over, and we got this one here to start us off from Z Broadcast. At the end, can Ian and Kyle sing "If I Didn't Have You" from Monsters, Inc.?
I don't remember that.
I don't remember it either. I'm sorry. I don't remember the song.
I mean, I'll Google it, but
and also you're like you're struggling, Ian. You have managed to somehow still maintain your happiness, your chipperness from the start of the show to this point, but I don't know how you're going to feel in a couple hours.
So that, and for the songs that I'm not super familiar with, there I would be blundering through it. You'd basically be listening to me like shower sing or car radio sing along with something playing in the background. There's the chorus line I remember.
Yep.
So maybe Kyle and I, when we have a second, can research the song and put that together, throw out a little funsy thing.
Yeah.
But I with that kind of performance on demand, I prefer to actually know what I'm doing with the music. I mean, it's already kind of not professional grade anyway because we're doing it on the fly, but I still want to put on the best performance that I can.
Yeah. Sorry, buddy. Maybe next time. Here's one from the Drippy Simp. If Sonic and Soul Eater were to cross over, which characters would be Meisters and what characters would be weapons? Also, what would those weapons be?
Oh, that's a fun idea. Well, having Tails be the Meister and Sonic be his weapon, I think, is the first way to go. Tails trying to be thoughtful and measured in his application of violence, and Sonic being like, "Nah, buddy, let's just go. Swing that scythe, swing that," but whatever he turns into, maybe one giant serrated yo-yo. And Sonic encouraging Tails to let loose a little, really use that power. And Tails is like, no. There's been property damage in the past. I can only repair so much. Amy is clearly a Meister. I mean, come on. That hammer for surezies. But I guess in this scenario, we'll make that hammer into Knuckles.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a big punchy boy. That seems on point. So sure, absolutely. I guess Cream is already a Meister and Cheese is already her weapon. Maybe he just turns into a tactical missile with a bow tie. Kind of like that the what you call it, that mecha arrow that flies around when you whistle out of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
It's just a cheese cruise missile.
Oh boy.
Eggman's the Meister and Metal Sonic is his artificially created weapon. There you go, right there.
Nice.
Yeah, Tails and Eggman duking it out with their dueling hedge weapons. Yeah, all right.
That's pretty cool.
He calls it the hedge trimmer. And then, of course, the big reveal at the end of it all is that Froggy is the Meister and Big has been his weapon this whole time.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, I guess that's enough. I guess that's good enough. All right, here's one from Scurvy Pirate Dog. Since he's an Eggman fanboy, how many times did Starline try to grow a mustache?
'Cause this builder has no hair.
Oh boy.
Let's just say that there is a bioengineering experiment that has been locked away in the vaults, never to be seen again.
Oh boy. Oh dear. Oh no. That is very cursed. Very cursed. I mean, I guess it is Starline. That comes with the territory. Here's a question from Supersonic Fan. How would the Bad Guys series go differently if Starline had also busted the hooligans out of jail? How would they get along with the other villains?
At that point, I think the cast would have gotten too unwieldy, to be honest. It's a lot of dudes. That's a lot of personality.
Yeah, might have been a little too much. Maybe if at least Fang were there.
Maybe, but that's not what the question was. The question was, what if they were there? And Fang would be not happy to not be the ringleader. I mean, he's a genius. He's an expert tracker, hunter, thief, whatever. You're going to tell him what to do? Doesn't sit well. Pout, pout, pout. He's not
Mhm.
even like second banana because, you've got Zavok there. So he would be a cranky boy through most of it. Bean would be Bean. I mean, he's the non sequitur. He's the third wheel on the tricycle. He would be there for the occasional hilariously derailing one-liner. There you
Mhm.
go. And Bark would be, the ever-present silent punchline. You'd have Rough and Tumble do something absolutely idiotic, and he would just kind of glare. You'd have Mimic being super sketchy, and he would just glare.
Yep.
And then some kind of giant, monstrous, deadly robot would show up, and he and Zavok would just utterly devastate it with a single punch. And you're like, whoa, these guys are cool. And then they'd just kind of look at Zavok and glare.
Mhm. Mhm. Nice. Here's one from JJ Slider. Hi, Ian and Kyle. Wanted to drop in and say sorry for my constant nagging about power levels in the past year and a half. I get it's annoying. I'll try not to do it anymore. I still want to support you, so here's a free donation. Well, thank you.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you. It's fine. You can ask about
Just
power
for that.
levels. You may not like the answers, but you can ask. Anyway, go ahead.
Just for that, here's your free coupon. Whatever power level you say is better, it is.
Yep.
I endorse this.
You have the power. It is over 9,000. Perhaps. I don't know. It might be even higher than that at this point. Maybe. Here's one from Hero Squad. Kit versus Chaos. 2 water users. One who controls water versus one who is water. How does it go? Can Kit control the god of destruction, or will he fear perfection? Also, what are you doing, Kyle? I'm doing this. I mean, can't you hear? Can't you tell? I'm reading your question.
I think we touched on this a while back when Surge and Kit first appeared, because that's like the first thing everyone was thinking about. It's like, oh, Kit can use water. Chaos is water. What can Kit do? And I can't remember what we settled on, but I think it's more that Kit controls whatever water is within his tank. Like there is a threshold for what he can control, but presumably if he could mix his own reservoir in with Chaos, which is as simple as splashing him, he might be able to take control. And I've got this horrible mental image of perfect Chaos with this tiny little Kit zit on its forehead, assuming direct control. He is the thunder, rain, and lightning.
Danger water rising. Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's looking like we have already reached a considerable amount of standard questions from the chat. You guys are amazing. So we are closing standard questions now. We're only 20 minutes in, or less, actually. Well, no, okay. And we've already got 85 on the list that I'm seeing. Well, hold on. That's more like 82. But it's growing, continuing to grow, and we're gonna try to get through as many as we can. But you guys have a lot of questions this month, so yeah, thank you for your patience. Thank you, and we will continue. So the super chats remain open, by the way. Do remember that we are only prioritizing one of your questions. If you send any more, thank you very much. We will try and get to them later during our other recording sessions, but yes. I think I've said enough words. Time to say the words of other people. Here's a question from Chocolate Watermelon 28. You answered how the Brotherhood meeting Modern Knuckles would go, but how would them meeting Boom Knuckles go? Yeah.
Oh goodness.
I don't know if it would go extremely well or not well at all.
Well, depends on your perspective. I think it would go fantastic.
I think it would be hilarious. Either way, it would be entertaining.
they're just kind of monitoring Boom Knuckles in his day-to-day activities, and Locke is stroking that little tuft under his chin, going, "Maybe I left that boy in the wild for too long."
Maybe I left him in the microwave for too long.
Maybe Saber's like, no, look, he's incredibly strong and diligent. Maybe we can course correct. Maybe we can fix this. So they invite him in, and they're trying to train him in the ways of the Chaos Force and whatever. And Knuckles with any degree of telekinesis or world-altering abilities is just a recipe for a hilariously bad / good time.
Oh yeah. It's true. It's true.
He taps into his full potential and turns green. Ah, neat! And starts clapping and changing different colors. No, stop that. One more. And he just like rapidly claps and just starts cycling like a rainbow.
The amazing Technicolor Knuckles. That's good stuff right there. I like that.
Ultimately, the Brotherhood decides, you know what? This is a lost cause. We're just going to try another Knuckles from another multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
Abort. Hey, Knuckles, where you been? Oh, I had a great time. I got to visit this like whole secret society of angry grandpas. Uh-huh. And I turned green. That's nice.
That's neat. I think you overcooked your son.
Watched him trying to shrug his way into Locke's bathrobe, though he's like double his mass.
No, oh boy. Oh,
just strains one time too many and rips the sleeve straight off. Kind of glances around and then ties the belt and struts off. He did it.
Yeah. Even Styx is like, okay, that's weird. And they say I'm crazy.
She laughs it off and then, sneaks back to her burrow, pulls the secret lever, gets online, talks with the secret sisterhood of sixes. There's a rival gang out there, girls. We need to go find them. You sound like a conspiracy nutstick. So do you, Styx. Well, we're all kind of nuts here, Styx.
She's just talking to herself.
It's a multifaceted mirror.
It's just like good old Gollum. Except times 6. The 6 sticks. All right. We got a lot of questions, so let's keep going. Here's one from Tempo. What now?
I don't know. Whatever you want.
What now? Here's a question from Lord Van.
If you really want,
go ahead.
If you really want, we could do that. Otherwise, there's this over here. But really, when it comes down to it, it's whatever you want.
Yeah. What now? What now, indeed. Here's one from Lord Van Oscaro. How powerful would Whisper get if she upped her arsenal with Ratchet and Clank's wacky weaponry? What would her favorite be? What would Tangle's favorite be? What would Lanolin be weirded out by the Sheepinator?
Unfortunately, I never played Ratchet and Clank. I have no idea what the arsenal is.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a wild guess here and assume that the Sheepinator fires sheep.
I hope so. But I thought that was a thing in. I thought that was a thing in one of the South Park games, like the N64 South Park game was like a sheep gun. But I could be wrong on that. Maybe someone can help me.
Sheepinator is a weapon in Going Commando.
Oh, it turns turns others into sheep. Turns enemies into sheep.
Oh, it's a polymorph ray. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I mean, it's Lanlin. She'd be weirded out by just about anything that's not standard. I mean,
Mm.
she'll get used to it. She'll find a practical application for it, but first blush, it's going to be, no, that's weird. I don't like it. Whisper herself, I think she would be wary of new tech, open-minded to it, whatever gets the job done. But part of the appeal of the variable wisp bun is it's powered by the wisps and she trusts them.
Yes.
I mean, it's one thing to have an effective weapon. It's another thing to know that the ammo inside that weapon likes you and will try hard to do what you want it to do. And Tangle's not allowed to touch them. I think Lanolin and Whisper are in immediate agreement of that. She's not allowed to pull any triggers.
No touchy. No touchy. No touchy.
After she frumps for a minute, Tangle's like, fine, I don't want it anyway. I am the weapon. And to be fair, she's right.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's do this question from Lord Van Oscaro. How powerful would Whisper get? Oh, no, we literally just did this one. Dang it. Okay. Well, let's switch over to some standards then. Losing track of myself. Switch over to some standards. Here's this one from DDR Master M. The body swapping meteor from Boom lands in IDW/game canon. How does it go, and who, if anyone, actually gets swapped by it?
I don't remember this particular episode.
It's the one
I'm
where
assuming
Sonic and Eggman swap.
Nobody else, just them?
I think it's just them.
Okay. Well, we've seen a lot of Sonic and Eggman switches over the years, so let's not do that again.
Mhm.
We've been there, we've done that. Let's make it, and we've had a lot of Sonic and Amy swaps in recent shows. So let's make folks really uncomfortable and put Sonic and Knuckles in each other's bodies.
All right.
You got Knuckles just standing there going, unclean, unclean.
Mm-hmm.
Sonic is having a hard time lifting his arms. My God, his hands are so heavy. How does he punch with these things? Who else would be fun? Jimmerl and Cream. How does that even happen? How does a robot switch its personality into an organic being? Doesn't matter. It happened. Kind of hard to tell because Cream's already so formal and polite. She just sounds a little stilted. And, Jimmerl's being stock still now because with Cream inside, she's not going to violate his autonomy. She's going to be very polite, not touch anything until it goes back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
She really would want to use that rocket thruster. It looks very cool, but it's not hers. She doesn't have permission. She's just going to wait patiently for things to turn back. And meanwhile, up on Lost Hex, everyone is wondering why Zavok's just so laid back now. Whereas out in the jungle, you have an incredibly predatory Big the Cat looking for Froggy.
Nice. All right, here's one from Michael. In the Shogakukan manga, Sonic is heavily implied to be an ancient force for good with a somewhat symbiotic connection to Nikki's family. How would everyone minus Sonic react to this discovery?
Surprise, but mystified. Goodness, we thought Sonic was just cool in his own right. He has some kind of dramatic arcane power associated with him. Surprise, surprise.
Mm-hmm. Then again, this is like Archie territory, though, where he's like destined to be the hero, and
maybe.
yeah.
I'd have to see the context of the manga itself, but I get the feeling it's more of a kind of just a natural force rather than a more Western precluded destiny type of thing.
Yeah.
This is the kind of power Eggman would see if he could power a theme park with it. That kind of naturalistic force.
Yeah. All right, here's one from Uncle Venus's media reviews. Did Starline ever have a proper first name before he changed it to Doctor? I mean,
Doctor is his title, and his name is Starline.
he has no last name. He has one name, right? That we know of.
For branding purposes, yeah, but I think otherwise he is just Starline the platypus.
Hmm.
I mean, we haven't really established anything else.
No, we
But
have
say,
not.
I don't know, adding the doctor in front makes it too cumbersome. Dr. Starline the platypus. It's too long. Dr. Starline. It's punchy. Gets to the point. It's good. It's like you don't want to say Dr. Eggman the human. It's that's so good.
Why not? He's not Damian Rodriguez Starline. All right, here's one from Pedantic Cat. What's your favorite fight scene that you've written for Sonic and Mega Man respectively and were blown away by its illustration, besides Worlds Collide and Worlds Unite?
Oh my goodness. There's a lot to choose from.
Yeah, there's some good ones.
There's one sequence in particular that pops to mind where Sonic and Scourge are fighting and they run up a couple of trees to bend back and launch themselves at each other in perfect sync. And I remember seeing that art come in going, yep, Tracy freaking nailed it exactly as I envisioned it. That's tasty. I like it. I mean, Sonic 175 limit. I got your limit right here.
That's good. That's good.
Right there. I mean, come on. When Team Dark is escaping the special zone and Omega just opens up on Feist's face, that was hilarious, but it got the point across. Some nice, sense of visceral speed and action when Sonic and Shadow were throwing down early on in IDW.
Mm-hmm.
The whole fight with Metal Overlord,
that was pretty cool. Yeah,
Burning Blaze just go all out on one aspect of the island. It's freaking cool. Sonic throwing down Solo against the Deadly Six. There was the desperation of that fight. Small hallway, not a good place to make use of his speed, and eventually getting worn down by them all. And then, Tails coming in at the last second and barely scraping together the win. That was a good one. That's a good fight. For Mega Man, it's been so long, and so many of those fights were unfortunately short because of the nature of how we handled the book. Maybe the Raw Moon arc, like where all the Robot Masters are throwing down, and just the sheer terror that was the gauntlet to take down Raw Moon.
That
good. Might be up there.
I mean, Rock v Blues, real X versus Zero vibes. Just steal the same music, just lifted it right there. It would work. Good stuff.
It's not the most action-packed moment, but when he's fighting Flashman and the helmet falls off, and Flashman gets that momentary distraction. That hair.
Oh no. Oh no. Poor Flashman. All right, here's a question from the last baby man. If Sega asked you to make Sonic / Blaze, Silver / Whisper, and Tangle / Amy the main three and probably only official couples of the IDW comics, how would you portray them?
I mean, Sonic and anybody really would be a very kind of open-ended, laid-back relationship. Sonic is going to go out and do his own thing at his own pace. And Blaze is kind of committed to her duty, so she's not going to want to go exploring too much. She really had to be convinced to relax and go on her present vacation. So that could ultimately work out for the two of them. She's focused on her duty. He's out doing his thing. And whenever he comes back around, okay, it's time for her to take a break. And they hook up again, go on a fun adventure. And then, okay, she's had her fun. It's been nice to recharge her batteries. She's got to get back to work. And Sonic's like, all right, see you around, and goes off. And there's that mutual trust and respect there that, they each have their own type of lives and can spin them apart. I don't know. I find that wholesome.
Mm-hmm.
Whisper and Silver. It would be, that kind of opposites attract sort of thing. Whisper, I don't want to say keeping Silver on a short leash, because that, one, sounds too domineering, and two, I know exactly where some of you are going to take that, and I don't mean it that way. She's trying to like temper his more impulsive nature, and Silver is, he works well with a grounded mentor. We've seen that already. So they would ultimately be complementing each other's shortcomings. She helps him stay a little grounded. He helps her open up and be a little more trusting. His naivete is something of a not hazard, not weakness. It's something to be considered. But at the same time, her guardedness leaves her vulnerable. And so that trust fostered between the two of them brings out the best in both sides. And what was the third one? Amy and
Tangle.
Amy and Tangle. Huh. Don't see that one too much.
Mm-mm.
Adventure girls go adventuring.
That's right.
They both like helping people. They like, going out and seeing the world and doing fun things. Instead of opposites attract, it's just, an exponential factor. Crazy hero girl times crazy hero girl doesn't equal 2. It just brings it to the power of 2. And, they're going out and enjoying themselves, and the world's a better place for them.
Cool.
It would just be kind of tiresome how happy and energetic they are. Like they just keep feeding back into each other to make them more positive and upbeat and happy. And I need to sit down just thinking about it.
Oh boy. It's too much. Eventually their power becomes too great. Alrighty. Here is Red Rebel with a question. Given his history as a weapon turned good and desire to form connections like Sonic, would Shard like Scrapnik Island and its fellow mecha doppelgangers?
Oh, he would be right at home.
Yeah.
Like he would feel
wholesome. That's a wholesome thing.
He would feel vindicated by it. He's not alone. Here's this entire society that proves that, what he aspires to can work. He would absolutely move there and become another protector of the island. This would be the most specialist place to him. Nothing would threaten it. Nothing. And also, he sassy brother to Mecha. You could have that fun duality again.
Yep. All right, let's go ahead and switch over to some super chats. This one is from Coffee. Sonic/Pizza Tower crossover. What madness ensues? It would just be madness.
Not like super familiar with Pizza Tower and its lore, but what I have seen of it, it looks like it would be a neat Sonic style game. Like a tie-in with that would be easy peasy. I've also heard people say it would make for a great Wario game. Not WarioWare, but like proper Wario.
Wario,
like,
yeah. I mean, the main guy already looks like Wario.
To a degree.
Yeah.
But I also kind of hesitate to make those comparisons because Pizza Time is its own thing. It stands by its own credentials. It has proven its own concept. And I understand the desire to take beloved franchises and say, oh, it would work in this style. But I also feel like that's robbing Pizza Time of its prestige.
Pizza Tower, not Pizza
You know?
Time. That's the song in the game Pizza Tower.
Okay, yeah, you know what I mean. Pizza Tower. Okay, so
the Spider-Man 2.
the point is,
the Spider-Man 2. That's the Spider-Man 2 thing. Anyway, sorry.
point is, I'm standing for Pizza Time.
Yes.
And crossover, well, if Sonic's entering the tower for whatever the reason is or in the plot, he's going to purposely wait out the clock just for that terrifying pizza-faced individual to come at him because he wants the actual race. He doesn't want to get out too fast. He wants to actually challenge himself. It'll be more fun this way if something's coming in to murder him the first thing.
Nice. All right, here's one from Tristan. In a BumbleKast, you said that Rough and Tumble play Warhammer, but never said what armies the two play with. What army do they play? Orcs is the obvious answer, but that's Shadow's army.
No. Rough and Tumble are orcs.
Yeah.
I mean, who else is going to want more DACA? I mean, they would devolve into orc speak as they're playing. You know, it's that. Yeah, that's right up their alley. Come on now. I'm not familiar enough with Warhammer though to actually have a proper counterpoint for Shadow.
Yeah, I don't actually know.
Like my understanding of the orcs is that their entire play style is based on randomness. Like you are just as likely to have your units turn on each other on any given turn than they are to go out and do what you want them to do. That they are, literally a chaotic faction. And I don't see that fitting for Shadow. I think Shadow would want something much more decisive and punctuated, something that he can, deal the most damage with the least amount of time.
Yeah. All right, here's one from Joe M. Is Fang just a Jerboa now instead of a half wolf?
Yes.
He's a Jerboa. Jerboa. Cool. All right, we got one from Oscar the Bearcat. King Shadow and Enerjack are fighting Neo Metal. Battle goes in their favor till Neo copies their data and wipes the floor with them both. How do the two tyrants react to being completely outmatched for the first time in either of their lives?
Can we just pause for a minute and imagine Neo Metal with the black and red, but also that kind of Egyptian god motif? So you got the gold mixed in there too.
I want it.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, somebody commissioned Tracy Yardley to do that. Just oh my god.
Ooh,
that would look that would look so cool. And I am not a big fan of Metal Overlord's design, but ooh, what I see in my head, that's a neat thing. That's pretty cool. Okay, anyway. Both Enerjack and King Shadow are, egomaniacal. So anything to throw off their individual senses of self power is going to just crush their little worlds, and they're not going to respond in a healthy fashion. So they're going to unleash even more firepower than they already have. Metal Overlord's going to retaliate, and basically the world gets cracked in half. It's not a good time for anyone around them.
Yeah, but it sure would look awesome.
Now, I do have to question Enerjack getting... I guess it kind of begs the question of which Enerjack. Because Dimitri Enerjack was wildly inconsistent. Like, on the one hand, he got punked in his own tower. On the other hand, he, atomized Knuckles because he got tired of messing with him. So, could he just potentially nuke Metal Overlord? Or would he be blinded by his own hubris and be set up for the failure? I don't know.
It would be cool, though. Either way.
I guess if we got to the point of Metal Overjack, it wouldn't matter, because then he would just warp reality to win the fight. King Metal Overjack. Excuse me. We can't ignore King Shadow.
No. Go off, King. Okay. All hail. Here's a question from Frost K9. How good is Silver with little kids? Would his notable hint of naivete be a blessing or a curse in his attempt at babysitting?
Oh, he'd be great with kids. He's able to resonate with them. He understands their fears and their insecurities, and he sees in them a lot of himself and wants to nurture and promote growth and feelings of self-worth. They would run ripshot over him. Like, he wouldn't be able to say no to their pleas for cookies and extended bedtimes. Eventually he'd buckle down and be the adult if he had to, but there would be a period of time where they could get anything they wanted out of Uncle Silver.
Adorable. Here's a question from Metamode. Rough and Tumble seem to be taggers. Are they good artists? Maybe among the best in the cast?
Individually, no. They have no sense of balance or depth or even color theory. But their artistic vision is so different that when they end up tagging things together, it ends up synergizing.
Nice. That makes sense. Here's one from True Cosmic Digilab 79. If Eggman got his hands on the tech from Sakura Wars, what do you think he would make from it?
I know nothing about Sakura Wars.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know.
I have heard of it, but I literally know nothing about it. I don't know if it's like an action title, a tactical title.
It's Cherry War. Who's fighting a war over cherries? Just have some cherries. You don't have to fight. Jeez.
Them's the pits.
All right. Here's one from Alexandre C. What happened to the Cosmo Arc replicas used by the other characters? And if tequilanology exists, why don't characters like Jet use it? Tequilanology? What is that?
Here, DM me that text. Let me see if I can decipher.
Okay. I don't know what they mean by tequilanology. I can't tell if that's what it even's trying to say here.
Well, maybe you just need a little bit of salt and lime.
Maybe.
All right. What happened to the Cosmos Arc replicas used by the other characters? Oh, the Arcs of the Cosmos in Sonic Riders Zero Gravity.
Okay.
And the replicas, those were used by just the generic robots, right? Because the characters got the real arcs. I would imagine that the replicas themselves, after everything went to hell in a handbasket with Mediotech, they were confiscated by like gun and decommissioned, or maybe just put in a warehouse to be researched by top men. And if I'm assuming that's a typo for technology, like maybe autocorrect played havoc with it.
Well, that's weird.
If such technology exists, why don't Jet and everyone use it? Just because that would break the plot because Sonic Riders hasn't impacted the greater series. Because maybe it just wasn't proliferated. Maybe Eggman only used it specifically for his elite line of mechs, and those were all destroyed / decommissioned. They were not proliferated for public use, and so it cannot be readily replicated. Maybe.
All right. Let's move on to the next one from Bunny Bell 3. Next on Dr. Starline's Isekai Adventures, what happens when he's just an ordinary platypus living in a zoo? No villains, just a nice swimming area and the excited squeals of zoo patrons.
Assuming that he's retained his awareness in all this. First, he hates it.
I mean, yeah.
To be so powerless, to be confined. He doesn't even have hands anymore. But, eventually he would find peace. This is a fine way to retire. And you know what? He's fed regularly. It's protected. He doesn't really have to worry about how the next isekai adventure is going to begin. He can finally find peace. And then at a ripe old age of however long platypi live, he finds himself reincarnated as a plush.
And that incarnation of Starline has reached his end. But don't worry, there are many more. This timeline has split off endlessly. But I'm glad that he finally reached, at least one of them finally reached an end. All right, let's switch back to some standard questions for a bit. This one's from Metal Skulkbane. There's a debate whenever Shadow is Sonic Fast without his shoes, but considering BioLizard and Artificial Chaos, Gerald was good with cyborgs. Is it possible those shoes are part of Shadow?
I don't think so, no.
Shadow cannot take the shoes off.
I want to say there's some obscure bit of Japanese trivia saying or showing Gerald gifting Shadow the shoes. I could have that mixed up, though. But as far as I am aware, Shadow is wholly biological. He's just a hodgepodge of DNA.
Yeah. He's pretty mixed up. He's pretty mixed up. Although I do find it funny. You could say, the shoes stay on. Here's one from Michael B. Starline decides to team up with the Doctor's greatest nemesis, Naugus. Will the unholy union of science and magic overcome Eggman, or will they inevitably end up at each other's throats?
C, all of the above.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both manipulators. They're both schemers. They would be playing each other the entire time, and they would be able to overpower Eggman, sure. But then once they have achieved their goal, they imagine they don't need the other, and then comes the vile but inevitable betrayal, which Eggman capitalizes on and takes power back.
Yep. All right, here's one from Oscar the Bearcat. If Tingle were to have a super form, would it be a typical gold one, or would it play more into her elastic abilities a la Gear 5 from One Piece?
Going by the series standards, it would be kind of that glowing white with kind of a starburst going on, and wouldn't necessarily have any special traits. I mean, you would have the flight, you would have the invincibility, but that's kind of standard. If you want to get into more fun stuff, then you'd have to get like Hyper Tangle, and then you'd have the crazy like infinite stretch tail.
Am I being flagged? Is something going on here? Does Jen have something for me? No? Okay. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, sorry. All right. Lightning Wyvern has a question. If Big the Cat showed his true infinite power and used it in every game he appeared in, SA1, Heroes, and Frontiers, how would the stories turn out differently? How would he thwart Eggman's plans?
Well, then you'd run into the problem of One Punch Man, where it becomes the punchline, and it's funny the first few times, but then it kind of wears out its welcome. Then you have to purposely sideline Big so that there can be other stories told and other stakes, and the minute he shows up, it's like, oh, well, we know how this is going to end.
Yeah.
That's why it's much better to keep his incredibly incomprehensible strength as more of a sidebar element.
That makes it more entertaining and funnier, and also more awesome when he actually, uses it. So, he's been using it this whole time. You haven't noticed? All right, here's one from the Sonic Theorist. Hi, Ian and Kyle. Hope your day is going well. In Sonic Prime, Season 1, Episode 4, Sonic said his Amy like him to an extent. What does he mean by that? Am I the only one confused by that phrase?
Run that phrasing by me again.
Sonic said his Amy is like him to an extent. What does he mean by that?
I'm assuming heroic and selfless and adventurous.
Maybe. That would be the only thing I could think of. They're also both hedgehogs.
I don't think,
but I don't think that's.
I'd have to.
I don't think that would be it, but who knows?
I'd have to see the episode itself to get better context, but I think that's where they're going with it.
Yeah, something like that. Here's one from S Shining. What event done to Sonic would be so dark and harmful that it would break him mentally to the point of losing his free spirit / strong will, etc., and leave him utterly broken? Wow, this is dark. You did this in Archie.
I don't think,
or somebody did it in Archie. I don't remember if it was you or not.
I mean, to a degree, when he lost his entire history and family and whatnot with the time shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, it was a temporary break and he got back on his feet. And that's Archie Sonic. That's an interpretation that's dead and buried. Like mainline Sonic, I don't think you can. Like 6 months of incarceration and torture, having a flaming arrow that literally burned your soul away, nearly being blown up in the vacuum of space when he had nothing in his hands but a false chaos emerald. He doesn't give up. You can't break him. You can tick him off. You can hurt him. You can maybe shake his resolve ever so slightly, but that's the heroism that is in Sonic. He cannot be overcome. He cannot be broken.
Mm-hmm.
Unbreakable, if you will.
All right, we got to go back to the previous question from the Sonic Theorist real quick. Apparently, the actual quote is, "You like me to an extent," as in, I guess he was saying to Amy that you like me to an extent.
Oh, well, yeah, Amy has feelings for Sonic. That's been established in Sonic CD.
Hey,
there is zero mystery there.
Yeah. Amy has feelings for Sonic. Also, bears crap in the woods. And wherever else bears happen to be. Here's one from Noxide. Now that the diamond cutters are a thing again, how long before we get their edgy hardcore phase, complete with the punish take a little lead, taking out a brooding black sheep persona?
Fan idea. Can't use it. Safely in the trash.
Maybe. Oh, man. Oh, man.
Saved us from a terrible fate.
You mean an amazing fate. Shadow would be like, finally, my people. All right, let's go ahead and switch over to some more super chats, 'cause we got a lot of them. Here's one from The Normal Person. Next on, time to throw in Bravo Tango 7274 as the overkill bodyguard for Jewel. How well would this partnership go? Who is?
Bravo?
I have no idea.
Bravo Tango. was it?
7274.
Okay. Titanfall. Oh, okay. I've not played Titanfall.
Okay, it's basically the I haven't played it either, but I believe it's the mech that like keeps you alive. Like it's the main character's mech. I think it's one goal is to keep its user alive. I think that's all it does.
Okay. And who was piloting it? Tangle?
Jewel.
Jewel. Okay.
The overkill
wow.
bodyguard for Jewel, not I guess not even the pilot.
Well, I mean, if we're in a scenario where Jewel needs that kind of protection, she ain't gonna leave the cockpit. If this large mechanical gentleman says that he will protect her, then by all means, she will not get in the way. Does she need to press a particular button while she's in here? No. Okay.
It makes sense to me, I suppose.
Does she have to pilot at all? Well, please boot up tutorial guide number 7, number 1 through 7 for me, please.
Yes.
I will do my best to assist.
And then Jewel plays Titanfall. And it goes well, probably.
I mean, the whole point is you're able to get out of the mech, do your thing on foot, and then you have to climb back into said mech, yeah?
I believe so, yeah.
No, she can fly, so that makes getting back into it even easier.
Yeah, I think it just like flies to you and scoops you up or whatever. Something like that. So even then.
Such service.
I know, it's amazing.
A mecha that is its own valet.
Yes. All right, here's a question from Mighty Gabura. Would dreams in Sonic contain things that the person understands, and even things, at the very least sometimes anyway, they might not? I mean, just like dreams in real life, right?
That's what dreams are.
In the night, dream delight. Here's one from Seaman. If you could have the powers, abilities, or arsenal of one of the many Sonic characters, whose would you like to have? Being able to summon a giant hammer and effortlessly wield it at any time would be pretty sweet. Having fire powers that would let you fly around that's pretty cool.
I don't know. Eggman's ability to conceptualize, actualize, and actually create whatever he thinks of would be delightful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how many times have I been, doing chores or out for a walk or busy with something else, and the story is putting itself together in my head, and I know I'm not going to be able to get this back in writing anytime soon. So with my Eggman powers, I would build the helmet that just beams those thoughts into the word processor, and I never lose a story beat again. Also, cannot draw, cannot put down what I see in the head onto the paper. That helmet, gonna do it for me. Just straight up beam those images from the consciousness into Photoshop. I would be unstoppable artistically. I'm not going to put small animals in machines. I have scruples.
Oh, man. Why not?
I'm busy writing and drawing.
Okay.
With my brain.
Your brain. My brain. Here's a question from Excel Hedge. Have either of you or see us watched Murder Drones? I've never heard of it.
I have heard of it. I've not seen any of it.
Yeah. Sorry. We're old. Here's one from Zach D. Come one, come all. It's a Royal Rumble. Blaze the Cat versus Sally Acorn versus Sodia the Hedgehog. My question to you, Ian, is how does this encounter go and who wins? P.S. Blaze can't use the Soul Emeralds.
Well, still, she's got pyrokinesis.
Yeah.
I mean, if this is like one of those mind controlled, they're fighting for all they're worth type of scenarios, Blaze by a country mile.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the Sonya spin does not make her fireproof, and Sally has a flip kick at best. No, Blaze by a landslide. It's not even a fight, it's a massacre. It is a neighborhood barbecue.
Sally has a handheld computer girlfriend.
That's Nicole. That's a different character.
Oh. Okay. No Nicole's allowed, huh? I guess if the Soul Emeralds aren't allowed.
That'd be like
then...
saying, yeah, Soul Emeralds aren't allowed. By that extension, Sonya's musical instrument isn't allowed. It wouldn't give her much of an edge, but at least she could play her own dirge on the way out the door. Now, if it's just, the three of them thrown in the arena by the evil alien overlord and told to fight, the three of them are smart enough and cagey enough to be able to work out a plan on the fly so that they're trading blows, but none of them lethal and putting on a show and figuring out a way to get out. And then the three of them run ripshot over whatever alien evil tournament arena is going on.
Exactly. Yeah, that's cooler, I think. I would watch that or read that or I don't know, enjoy that in some fashion. That would be pretty cool. This is a good team. Like if you had to build a team of characters, it's like a Sonic Heroes-esque team. This one you could do worse. You could do worse. Alrighty, we got a question here from System 509. Starling gets isekai'd into the Green Ranger from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers back in the 90s while he's still evil. How does he do things differently from Tommy?
It's been so long since I watched Green of the Evil, but quick assessment of his situation. He's serving a extremely theatric evil overlord. Check. He has a pointy dagger that stabs people. Check. He has superhuman abilities within his morphin suit. Check. And that dagger is a flute. Odd, but it summons a big hole dragon with missile launching fingers and a jolt for a tail. Hot diggity, he's set. He doesn't need the power of friendship. He doesn't need to be reformed. No. He will be Rita's vanguard.
What's name?
That, my queen? Level Angel Grove. Well, considered a fallen Angel Grove.
What's the name of the evil Tommy in the comics and in the fighting game?
I'm
trying to remember.
I've forgotten.
It's like Emperor Dracon, Lord Dracon. There we go. That would be pretty cool. Starline Lord Dracon. Nice. All right. Here's one from Sabdier Z. Plan on doing BK minis, but how knowledgeable are you on these franchises for the future? Guilty Gear, Mega Man Battle Network, Blaze Blue, Street Fighter, and Mega Man Zero. Sonic stuff will happen too, but variety.
Variety is good, but we went through that list a little quick. Take pity on your...
That's okay.
Fuzzy-headed friend. All right, so Guilty Gear. Passingly familiar. I did watch a deep dive on like the core lore.
Mm-hmm.
Basically Soul Bad Guy's story and the premise of the backyard and stuff. So I know enough to be pleasantly entertained and know I am way out of my depth. Like,
It's weird. Guilty Gear's weird.
that is a fever dream of lore, and I love it for what it is. I watched the cinematics for, I guess it wasn't the last game, but the game before, not Strive. What came before Strive? The one when they went like
Xrd.
full 3D.
Xrd.
Xrd. And that's just, it's so bizarre and stupid, and I love it.
That's Guilty Gear for you. That's how it's been the whole time. Nothing's changed. Bizarre and stupid.
Like when,
and it's glorious.
they're fighting on the car as it's going down the highway, and they introduce this blue demon guy, and he, with all the conviction in the world, introduces himself as Happy Chaos. And I'm like, yep, that's it. The bar has been set. I understand. This is a hallucination. I'm good. Okay. We're on the same page. Cool. Proceed.
Yeah.
And the thing is, there is enough cohesion to it that you can tell it's done on purpose.
Yes.
It's just, okay. So
there's a method.
I'm appreciative of it.
There's a method to the madness, but it is madness.
But it's mostly madness. So I am appreciative of it on the sidelines, like in the back row.
Yeah.
What was the next one?
Mega Man Battle Network.
Again, passingly familiar. I could not play it. The whole managing chips and the grid and shooting, that's too much for my smooth brain to handle. Know the premise about the whole, net nabbies going into the internet and whatnot, but anything beyond that, not super in depth.
Yeah.
Next.
Blaze Blue is a similar level of madness to Guilty Gear, but I don't know much about it otherwise.
See, I feel like I would get it confused with Guilty Gear. I know significantly less.
Yeah.
Like if you showed me a Blaze Blue character and said this is something from Guilty Gear, I'd go, yeah, okay.
I mean, for the most part,
not
yeah.
confident on that.
Street Fighter?
Passingly reasonably familiar. Like I'm not going to be able to go deep lore on it, but going through watching story mode for 6 and seeing the call outs that people were highlighting, like, oh, that's that thing, I get it. Or if it's another call out of something super obscure, it's like, oh, I wouldn't have picked up on that, but I appreciate that reference. That's neat. What's the new bad guy's name? The very Christopher Lee type fella.
Yeah. Shoot. I don't remember. Oh, well, you know who we're talking about, right?
JP, there we go.
JP, okay.
The fact that he was like Shadowloo's accountant and now he's taking things over because Bison is dead. That's freaking cool. That continuation of the story is neat. And most of the character interactions, like the fact that Guile goes looking for Ken because he's his brother-in-law, that's just a nice detail. I dig that. I like that a lot. So not super familiar with it like to Sonic level, but appreciative enough. I would feel slightly more confident blundering into Street Fighter territory than I would Guilty Gear, let's say.
Mm-hmm. And Mega Man
What was
Zero.
else?
Mega Man Zero is the last one.
Passingly familiar on that one as well. I know Aaliyah and I sat down and made a point of watching Let's Plays of those games to know the story.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd probably have to do another round of research because I didn't retain all of it. But the whole point of him being found by Ciel and fighting Neo Arcadia and the tragedy of Copy X and yada yada yada. I kind of know that off the top of my head.
Alrighty. Well, hope that helps in the future. Here's a question from Madeline Blue Star 7. On Sonic's planet, would hospitals run by humans treat anthro animals and vice versa?
Sure. I would imagine that if you're in a more human populated area, there would be less accommodations for anthros. There would certainly still be accessibility there, but they wouldn't be as prepared. Likewise, if you're out on one of the remote animal islands and you, as a normal human, get sick, they might be apologetic and have to put a couple of beds together for you to fit on. But yeah, they would be able to take care of whoever, wherever.
All right. That's good. Good to know. Good for insurance purposes. Here's one from AP. What is Blaze and Silver's current dynamic given 06 isn't canon? Does she see him as a brother? Are they good friends? Is it yet to be established?
They are good friends. There's a degree of intrinsic trust between them that neither fully understands, but they don't question it either. They just know that they're pretty in sync naturally, and they just go with it.
Works for me. Also, there's people are like freaking out apparently that 06 is not canon. Guys, it literally erased itself from the timeline. Like,
that's the story of 06.
The game made itself non-canon. Then again, everything is canon, so oh well. I mean, I guess it still technically happened. The events of the game did happen, so
right.
So I guess in that case, it's still technically canon, but nobody remembers it.
Right. I mean, the fact that Sonic and Silver meet for the first time in Sonic Rivals is within the context of they forgot everything from 06. So
Yep. Here's one from Finest Cacophony. All right, BumbleKast. Gee, thanks. Tingle and Whisper miniseries, only instead of Mimic, it's The Red Spy. How do the events play out, and is Vanilla president of his fan club? Oh no, you've broken Ian. Oh no, Ian, no. Don't die. Please don't die on me, Ian.
Petit lapin. God. Red Spy.
It's a Red Spy.
That is incredible. Camouflage technology. They can cut his height in half to disguise himself as Tangle to trick Whisper at any point.
It's a red spy in the base. Classic.
He leaves you go to the flashback and he's leaving the diamond cutters to die. I was never on your side to begin with. Overall, though, I think the general tactics and application would remain largely the same.
Yeah.
I mean, just when they confront him on the ocean base with all the holograms, he would casually take out a cigarette, light it, take a puff, and say, "What are you supposed to do? Shame me for doing a job well?"
This would be fun. It would be fun. Yes. Geo Knuckles has a question. Knuckles, the Chaotix, and whatever female character as the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers from the second season. Which Dino / Thunderzords would they pilot?
Okay, so Knuckles the Chaotix plus whoever we need
to be a girl.
Thunderzords.
I don't remember the Thunderzords.
Oh, there was the dragon, the unicorn, the griffin.
Okay. Glad you remember.
Hold on.
I sure as hell don't.
Well, this was like traumatic for me and my brother back in the day. Like they freaking blew up
right
11 Zords.
Yeah,
and replaced them with the others. And no, don't show me the Megazord. Show me the. Okay, so. All right, the lion, what is it, eagle, phoenix,
Firebird, I guess.
firebird. It's a phoenix.
Yeah.
Griffin, unicorn. The griffin didn't look like a griffin. Maybe. Oh, was it supposed to be a Kieran? Maybe. Well, whatever. Because I remember as a kid thinking that the Zords didn't seem to have any kind of parallels to the Rangers themselves. Not like, Trini didn't really have anything intrinsically related to a saber-toothed tiger either, but, their costumes at least matched. Once they got the new Zords, they still had their dinosaur-themed costumes. So I was like, who's piloting what again? Huh?
Yep. And then there's White
let's see.
Tiger, the sixth ranger.
Yeah. All right. So Knuckles, Chaotix, and one more.
Julie
I'm putting
Sue?
way too much thought into this, I know.
Julie? Just Julie Sue.
Let's see. Put Chari and Espio in the Griffin and or Pegasus. It's a Pegasus. I see wings on it now. Okay. In the Griffin and Pegasus. So they can man the feats. Knuckles will go on the dragon. Because why not? I mean, come on. I'm sure he can have a dragon punch in sub point. He's due.
Good.
He's already got a Sharukin. Give him a dragon punch. No. Vector's the dragon because it looks like his head. There you
go.
It's mapped to his body, so he's just somewhere in that Zord flailing around going. Argh! So give Knuckles the lion. That's a powerful beastie, and then Cream is the junior member in the Firebird.
Okay. That works. All right, here's one from Emil C. Can Sonic actually fight, or does he just spin dash?
Going by Frontiers, he can throw hands.
Yeah, but the island gave him those powers. He didn't just have those.
Okay, well, in Sonic Battle, he's got some moves.
Okay,
Sonic
even though
he's got some moves.
even though Sonic Battle is dubiously canon considering its weirdness from the rest of everything, everything's a little off in it. I don't know, man. I don't know.
He's not the most disciplined fighter, but he knows a few moves.
All right. Let's move on to the next question from Z the Hyena. How many shampoo and conditioner bottles does Xena go through on a wash? Thank you in advance. Any.
Bold of you to assume that she washes.
Ew.
That's just well cultivated grease.
Oh. No. Oh.
What? They're monsters that live out in a wild place that has like a brickwork castle. You expect them to have running water?
Ian.
And that's how Xena got her Sheena. It's also why she's Greena.
Here's a question from Jim. To Ian and Kyle, are one of you familiar with the Glitch Productions web series Murder Drones? Oh, nope. Well, if so, what do you like about the series? And would Dr. Starline be interested in the genocidal robots of post-apocalyptic world? Someone else already asked this. Well, they at least asked if we've seen the show Murder Drones.
Yeah, so
the answer is no.
Clearly, we need to watch it because we've gotten 2 questions in 1 episode.
I guess so.
Add it to the list.
I'll get to it in 20 or 30 years, maybe. It's about my current delay. Here's El Technopada with a question. Some people argue that SAT-AM is a poor adaptation, and erasing the Sonic elements would still work. So doing an OGIP/comic with the Freedom Fighters wouldn't be a viable way of bringing them back?
Oh, there's a lot to unpack there. Number one, it was a product of its time. Video game licensed media was new in general.
Mm-hmm.
And, any adaptation at the time was dubious at best.
And there's
Mario maybe being the outlier, but
even
mean,
then, and
you can poke some holes in that.
oh, you can poke a lot of holes in that. Anyway, I do want to say real quick. I just want to add to say this real quick is that you got to remember that in terms of the lore for the American side of Sonic, there wasn't much established by the time SAT-AM came out. So
True enough.
yeah, there was. It's not like the Japanese side where you had manga and everything, and there was, less crossover and less known about that at the time.
And there was that division, like a purposeful division between
Yes.
the Eastern and Western interpretations. It was at the time standard marketing practice.
Yep.
So SAT-AM and Adventures of Sonic was the Western brand of Sonic. It wasn't necessarily inaccurate. It was just what they were doing in the West. It wasn't until the brand consolidation that came with Sonic Adventure, where the Japanese material took precedent, that everything else was recontextualized.
Right.
That being said, SAT-AM is Sally's show. It's her fight with her team to reclaim her kingdom and find her father. And Robotnik and Sonic could very easily be swapped out for any other superpowered antagonist and protagonist, and it would still function the exact same.
Mm-hmm.
So in that regard, it is both a blessing and a curse. Because if you were to do something that was a full-on autonomous spin-off of the Freedom Fighters, it wouldn't necessarily make them more relevant to the Sonic material, but they would also be able to stand on their own without having to lean on Sonic necessarily.
Right.
Now, in terms of getting them out of the Sega vault, they are not necessarily a property that would be able to go out on their own as a Sonic spin-off right now, because it's been, goodness, how many years now where they have not been in any kind of relevant media. So they would have to be reestablished, and then it becomes a question of, are you trying to reestablish it as its own property and unshackle it from Sonic? Or are you trying to put it into Sonic? And as we've discussed many times, there's other issues that come with that. So
yeah. All right, so let's move on to this question here from DDR Master M. The Sonic cast goes to an arcade. What games do they play? Please include Tangle, but otherwise I'm not picky. Tangle is into fighting games, but she fights herself. Well, her tail.
Yep. Covered that.
We've talked about that before. Yep.
Sonic's going to do DDR. He's just going to style on everybody else. Tails is in that super realistic, all encapsulating, like, shooter ride. Like it's got the full cabinet that moves.
Yeah.
And everything. Surrounding screens. Immersive effect. Amy cleans out the prize pool just by playing whack-a-mole. She has all the tickets. She's actually banned from some arcades because they can't afford her.
I was going to say, she cheats. That's what it sounds like.
Likewise, Knuckles is banned from anywhere that's got one of those boxing bags to determine your strength. He's broken too many of those things. They're not even a challenge. And then at some point, everybody's obligated to do the multiplayer racing arcade, whatever it is.
Mhm.
You know, it's got the row of cabinets that everyone can race each other in. They have to. It's if Sonic doesn't initiate, somebody will.
Do 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 do. Anyway. Good stuff. Here's one from Shaolin Sonic fan. Sega decides to wipe out all Robot Sonic clones but one. To avoid backlash, they place this task onto you. Who is the reigning champion that survives?
Thanks for passing the buck. Uh,
I guess it would have to be Metal Sonic.
yeah. I mean, I love me some mecha, especially Scrapnik mecha.
Yeah.
But if we're going to have one Robo Sonic duplicate, it's got to be Metal.
One true Robot Sonic.
He is the quintessential antithesis to the hero. He is thematically perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be Metal.
Yeah. Here's one from Random English. In Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, Chow make babbling baby sounds. In Sonic X and Shadow the Hedgehog, the Chow say their name like a Pokemon. What's the current standard and which would you prefer?
Why not both?
Yep.
I mean, maybe Chow is their primary call, and then they just make goobly gobbly noises outside of that.
Can relate. Goobly gobbly noises. Here's one from Quazzle J. How would a conversation go between Dr. Light and Eggman regarding AI intelligence and free will of robots? Would Dr. Light talk down to Eggman?
I almost said Dr. Light doesn't talk down to people, but
he kind of does.
He kind of does. He mansplains. He comes from a positive place. He wants to educate. He wants to be nurturing, but he also thinks things are the way they should be. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. So
yeah,
it's unintentional condescending. It's not mean spirited, but it is what it is. And I would imagine that if they are entering into this discussion without any other context, what with Light being thrown out of the Wily egg, if they're meeting for the first time, it would start off jovial enough. They both aspire to reach new heights in robotics and advanced AI, and pushing the limits, finding new boundaries and overcoming them. And then when Eggman starts getting into a tangent about how, it's so much fun to program fear and fealty into your robots so that they actually react realistically when you domineer over them. Light's like, beg your pardon? I mean, there's no fun giving orders to your minions when they don't actually cower in fear.
Mm-hmm.
You beg my pardon. And that's when things would get a little spicy between them. And, Eggman would point out that having something that you get emotionally attached to is a viability. You then start worrying about their feelings and their thoughts. They are tools to be used to an end. You can't conquer a world if you're worried about which egg pawn comes back with PTSD. And Dr. Light just kind of shuffles his notes, nods along for a second, and then says, Sage. And Eggman blusters and stumbles and, did you bet? How did you? And he storms off the stage.
Yeah. All right, here's one from Sega Comet. The Starline Isekai continues, and now he ends up in Phineas and Ferb, and it teams up with Doofenshmirtz to take over the tri-state area. How does it go?
Again, I'm sorry, I've not seen any Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know there's a platypus character in that, but
my understanding of Doofenshmirtz is the whole 2 nickels thing, and that's it.
It is kind of weird that it happened twice. Here's one from the Lazy Engibot. I remember you were asked how you would kill Sonic. So how would you kill Shadow or Knuckles? Whoever has more fun. And sorry if this was asked before.
Let's see. Shadow, have him do a heroic self-sacrifice again. That's what enamored him to so many people. So might as well come full circle and send him out on that high note again. And make it unquestionably clear that he is doing this for the betterment of others. That it's not an accident. I mean, he can still frame it as, he's going to be the grim and proper one, and he's doing it just because of his own vendetta or whatever, blah, 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 blah. But it's clear through context that he is making the sacrifice play for the greater good. It is a noble sacrifice. Knuckles needs to go down swinging.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Obviously. Like, no doubt.
He holds the line. Which, I mean, yeah, it's the same kind of self-sacrifice type thing, but Shadow, I can see him walking off into the nuclear reactor and neutralizing it with a chaos blast or something big and dramatic and flashy and with a big build up to it, something melodramatic. Knuckles is just facing down the unrelenting horde, draws a line of the sand, and doesn't let anybody pass.
You shall not pass.
And, everybody catches up to him after the fact, and he's all haggard and saying, like, you totally did it, Knuckles. You saved the day. You're such a manly man. And he's not responding. That's when you realize he's just upright because he hasn't fallen over yet.
Oh, no. No. Knuckles, my boy. They massacred my boy. But at least he went out like a boss. Here's a question from Gunner. What would be more entertaining to write? Silver bringing Blaze or Espio on a double date with Tankle and Whisper? Silver bringing Blaze or Espio on a date with Tankle and Whisper? A double date. Yeah.
Sorry, I turned into a Minecraft villager there. Because you have the odd couple synergy with both. But Blaze's reservedness is more classy. There's a dignity there. She will endeavor to carry on the conversation with Whisper as Silver and Tangle get goofy. Espio is less prominent. He's a ninja. He's not about forefront confrontation. If things get dicey, he's going to ninja vanish and disappear. And he also seems to get his jimmies rustled a little easier than Blaze's. So I could see him kind of noping out as things get awkward. And they would. I mean, that's the whole reason to have these kinds of scenarios is for the fun awkwardness.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's the whole point of having these dates even happen to begin with, right? All right, we got one from Kazi. No question. $5 to get yourself a good soup. Feel better.
Thank you very much, Kazi.
Thank you, Kazi. You are cool.
I'm holding up all right, but every time I speak, my eyeballs pulse. So it's been an interesting 2 hours so far. No,
not quite 2 hours.
Hour 45.
We're getting there. We're getting there though.
We're in the home stretch.
Yep. All right, here's one from Alice B. Since we probably won't ever see it, what would a relationship between Sonic and Amy be written like in IDW or a game? Just curious to see how it would work in an official sense. Thanks.
If it were up to me, I would see it cycling back very close to how Sonic and Blaze are in that previous answer, is that they are comfortable together and apart. Sonic will go adventuring, he will go far afield, and Amy is cool with it because that's who he is. And then whenever he's back, it's like they were never apart and they just sync up again and go on adventures. And, he's had his time abroad. So sure, he's up for a little bit of low key shopping if that's what she wants to do. And, they chill out for a bit. And then he gets the itch to go running off again. And he's like, I'll see you in like a week or two. Depends on how fast I make a lap around the planet. Bye. And he's gone. And Amy, is meanwhile busy with her own projects and adventures and aspirations.
Yep. I like it. It's a very wholesome relationship. It would be nice to have one of those in media once in a while. Here's one from Armored Turtle. Power swap time. Amy and Shadow swap powers. How does else react to the change in status quo, specifically the two in question, Sonic and Team Dark? So not body swap,
Sonic's
I guess, power swap.
Yeah, Sonic's not going to be too bothered by it. And at this point in their dynamic, he would be kind of pleased to have an Amy who can actually keep pace with him for long periods of time. I mean, now they just go running together. There you go. And,
yeah.
Tails might be worried. Tails, Cream, the more sensible folks might be a little worried for Amy's well-being. Like, that kind of power, do you feel tingly? Are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. It's a good thing I'm wearing limiter rings already.
Yeah, I was gonna say they both have they both have limiter rings, so it's like, well, what happens when Shadow takes his off now?
They just kind of fall to the ground. He's like,
no,
Ian,
no,
bling.
No,
What?
No, Ian. They
What?
are actually limiter rings for Amy too. I demand it.
Okay.
She is
Okay.
more powerful than you can imagine.
In Amy's case, they're just weighted rings.
No.
It helps her manage her incredible strength.
I'm trying.
Shadow would be put out that he's lost so much power, but it's not going to slow him down, aside from literally. He would still be incredibly nimble and acrobatic, and he would do terrible things with that hammer.
Oh,
Cultural control.
Oh boy, Woody.
It all starts with this. A hammer that can flatten anything.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty powerful. It's pretty powerful. Either way, come on. Amy's rings are not just decoration. Please.
Yeah.
She takes them off and she goes hyper. That's just her default state. There you go. It's a free fan idea for you. All right, here's one from Armored Turtle. Oh, nope, we just did that one. Sorry. Nope. You already had a question today. Sorry, buddy. Here's one from John Callahan. John, any thoughts on Gear 5 Luffy? I know you aren't a fan of One Piece, but I'm curious to hear your input on a power-up that spreads joy and is limited to imagination. I'm not shouting in gold hair.
I don't know anything about Gear 5 outside of folks didn't like it, and then other people going, why do you not like it? It's great. Again, not knowing anything about One Piece, the other gear changes, phases, forms, I don't know how you describe it, didn't seem particularly transformative, at least from my ignorant seat. It just kind of looked like Luffy punched things harder or got, bigger, like it put a bicycle pump into a Stretch Armstrong. But what I've seen of Gear 5 does look like an actual transcendent form. And that's kind of neat on a visual aspect. And if it's powered by joy, he's already supposed to be kind of a goofy character. So take that to extreme. Sure. Seems thematically sound.
Works
Again,
for me.
said from a seat of ignorance.
All right. Here's one from All Peachy. Which Sonic character do you think has the best theme songs? Personally, Knuckles' themes go hard to this day.
Shadow cheats because he's got a bunch of themes.
Yeah, that's rude.
Like, his SA2-1 and all the ones from his own game, and then he kind of shares one with Team Dark and Heroes, I guess. So
06 is
what a music hog.
06 is technically a cover, but it's the superior version. Let's not kid ourselves.
I like Silver's. That's a good personal theme. I mean, Living in Paradise Lazy Days is
It's a
guilty
classic.
pleasure of mine.
Why are you guilty? You shouldn't feel guilty about that.
It's not the best music in the world necessarily, but it's such a goofy, happy, unapologetically positive song. There's a particular remix of Tails' theme that is incredibly abrasive, but I love it.
Yeah.
Can't
I think I know which one you're talking about, but
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I'm sure
know
it's
it.
been on KNGI at some point.
Maybe. I don't remember.
Eggman's theme.
Which one?
Eggman's theme. I am the Eggman.
Goo-goo-goo-choo?
No. He's got the master plan. That
okay.
That is
okay. I know. That's a good
iconic.
One. That's a good one. I'm still a fan of Sonic's SA1. It doesn't matter. Still like that one. Not SA2 so
Infinite's
much.
theme.
But yeah.
Infinite's theme. That's good 90s music.
That goes too hard. You didn't have to go that hard.
What, you saying you're too weak to handle it, Kyle?
Yes. I do love me some My Sweet Passion, even though the lyrics are like, what? What are you saying? I don't understand. But, dude, it's a great song.
Follow Me in My Dreams is a fun song. It's a fun little catchy poppy thing. I like it.
Team Chaotix. They're detectives you want on your side.
That's a good Saturday morning cartoon theme.
I love that song, yeah. Yep. Good stuff. Unknown from ME obviously is a classic. Particularly the SA1 version, honestly, but that's all good. It's all good. All right, here's a question from Thievius. Tangle gets the gum fruit from One Piece, granting the user a body made of super stretchy rubber, but the inability to swim. How does it go wrong? Is that the One Piece? It's the one piece of gum, the last piece of gum? Is that what it's about? Interesting. I didn't know that.
No, Tangle realizes that she can now stretch anything like her tail.
Oh, boy.
So she takes about a day to kind of get a handle on that. Throw a punch. Okay, it's kind of like that. Throw a kick. Okay, it's kind of like that. Cartwheel. That leads to disaster. She's tied around a tree. Whisper, help. Sleep on it and get up the next morning. It's like, all right, I'm ready. And then she's just like the most Spider-Man you could ever Spider-Man. That tail is now just one of 5 ways to reach out and grab somebody. She is a literal pentapus. Can't be octopus. It's 5. Pentapus of absolute melee fury. She's already pretty capable. She would be nigh unstoppable. And then, villain has her pinned and locked down. Ha. She can't stretch and attack. Nope. Headbutt from 30 feet away. Whoppums.
Nice. All right, we got a question from No Originality. Not sure if anyone asked, but if there was a Sonic game or comic issue, Archie or IDW, that you would like to rewrite, which one and why?
We always come back to this one, House of Cards.
Yeah.
I wish I could do that as I wanted to. If it was under the same stipulations as I had before, I don't really know how I could do it any better and still check all those boxes. I is kind of painted into a corner with that. I think that was the best I could do at the time with what I was given, but I wish we could have done that properly.
All right, here's a question from Butter Noodles. Which of the main female character outfits would Sonic choose to wear if he had to? Why would he decide what you say he chooses? Well, maybe he has to dress up to go save Tifa from Don Corneo. I mean, guess that would make sense.
I mean, I don't think he'd be too picky as long as it wasn't that restrictive. I mean, as long as he can move in it, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Tangle's outfit is the already pretty Sonic-y anyway.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty
But
fitted and athletic design, sure. I was thinking more Blaze and him kind of going, how do you run on those heels? And she's like, oh, actually, this is like from a long line of royal designs. It's really quite comfortable. It adds more spring to your step. Really? Let me try those on. But yeah, I think he'd do whatever. I don't know if he would particularly pick one over the other because he's a pretty simple guy. He doesn't really accessorize anyway. But if he was forced into any of them, I don't think it would give him too much pause. Again, as long as he can move. I think he would take like Tangle or Blaze's outfit over like something like Whispers, because Whispers got a cloak and it's got big clunky boots and whatever. But as long as he can, do his thing, sure, why not?
Yep. And here's one from TOZ Online. This is going to be our last super chat question for tonight. Who would win in an all-out war? Lex Luthor from the DCAU or Dr. Eggman from the canon video games? I want to hear your perspective. I'm interested.
I'm going to have to go with Eggman by volume. Luthor might have the more potent technology, but it's all very limited. He doesn't have armies or fleets or war rigs or anything. He's just going to have one especially powerful super suit to his name. And he would certainly do a devastating amount of damage, but he's going to be ultimately overwhelmed by the sheer amount of stuff that Eggman is throwing at him. I think. You could probably make an argument either way that one Lex suit could carve through all of the Eggman empire and not really scratch the paint. I don't know. When you're listening to this on Monday, leave a comment below. Tell me which one is right.
All right. For any of you guys who sent in more than one super chat, we'll be getting to those in a future episode. Right now, we've actually got a little bit of time left over, so let's do some standard questions for a few minutes. Here's one from The Saxon. Hey, Ian. Like Sonic itself, there are a lot of strong opinions about you, ranging from a perfect writer who can't make anything bad to a talentless hack. So what do you think of your own work?
I think
I guess it depends, probably. You probably are not a fan of House of Cards.
Depends on the story, depends on the project, depends on yada yada. But overall, I think I'm pretty good. Not flawless. By no stretch of the imagination am I flawless. No.
They keep hiring you, so you must do something right.
I mean, I appreciate that folks enjoy it and that some are inspired. That's very flattering. And I will do. And it really just makes me want to continue to do the best I can, because now people have expectations, and that's terrifying. But even if, like, let's just pretend for a half second that I was God's gift to the written language, which again, not so. That doesn't mean I am the end all be all. There are other writers out there. There are other perspectives. There are other approaches to the discipline that you should experience. So, go out and partake of as much as you can.
Yes.
I think I'm fairly consistent in terms of quality and delivery. And the one thing that I can kind of bank on is the level of quality that I can produce in a short amount of time. I'm fast.
You are fast.
That's a
Yes, that's true.
but
It's
I'm sure
you're
I
taking
have
that
my
Sonic
shortcomings.
took Sonic to heart, I guess, huh? Gotta go fast.
Just there are places where I could improve. I'm sure there are conventions that I fall back on, turns of phrase that I use more than once and kind of forget that I did that.
Shoehorn references in there to things that you maybe don't need to have
Sometimes
so
it
many.
works a little better than others.
Yeah, it happens. You
But-
tried.
But I think I'm doing this as my principal form of work for my entire adult career. If it wasn't good, or at least decent, I don't think I would be getting consistent work.
If unacceptable, yeah. People keep hiring you, so either they're doing it despite what you do or because of what you do. I guess it depends. It depends on who you ask.
It's such a small market, and there are so many people trying to break in. I feel like if it was an issue of quality, I would have been replaced a long time ago.
Maybe.
Especially since I'm not multidisciplined. You have folks out there that can write and do the art.
Yeah.
And, that's so much more desirable for this industry. So
yes.
I got to be doing something right.
Either you're really good at what you do, or everyone else is even worse. Thank you.
Well, we know that ain't true.
Thank you for that.
As long as you're pleasing most of the people most of the time, you're all right.
You're okay. Yep. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you're a hack fraud. But
well, yeah, but I also conned you into doing the show for years. So who's the
idiot? I mean, I never said I wasn't also a hack fraud. All right, let's do a couple more. Here's one from Vixers. Assuming money is real, how does Vanilla pay for her and Cream's livelihood? Part-time job, alimony, child support, a secret moonshine business? Why not all of the above?
My understanding of Sonic's world economy as it stands is that the animals, to a degree, just work on a kind of benevolent socialism or communism, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to look up the actual definitions of the terms. It's been a while.
Like real socialism and communism, not
like the fantasy version that works.
Yeah, not like not dictatorships masquerading as communism or socialism. No.
Right.
No.
But where everything works on a goodwill barter system and just general community support.
It's more like a tribal sort of thing.
Yeah.
Sorta.
A benevolent anarchism to a degree.
Sure.
But with money being a nebulous thing, if I ever get the chance, what I want to pitch is that Vanilla basically is the caretaker of a chow garden, and that people can bring in their chow like it's a daycare, and she helps, look after them. Or if you're trying to raise one for racing, she knows how to ethically get your chow in its best shape and do that.
Who is putting this thing on the... Okay, it's Jen. Okay. I guess she drew a Sonic stick figure or something. Okay. It's on the spreadsheet of questions. All of a sudden, I just see this thing moving down. This thing of this weird looking character, stick figure character. All right, cool. You got time for one more, Ian?
Let's do one more.
All right. Our last question tonight comes to us from Ellie. Is the lore team only working on Sonic? If Sega brought their other franchises like Knights or Golden Axe back, would they be consulted for those as well, or would they get their own lore teams?
From my understanding, let me put that big old asterisk on there. We are exclusive to the Sonic brand.
Mm-hmm.
If we continue to do good work and are notable for our efforts, I could see other brands potentially getting that kind of attention. I don't know if we would become a Sega lore team or if they would create their own lore teams for those brands. I don't know. That is not part of my pay grade. I am not that decision maker, and I am so thankful for that.
They would have to actually, make things in those other franchises first. Actually have some lore. I mean, other than, I guess, Yakuza. That would be it. But they probably have their own lore team keeping that one straight in the form of the actual real-life Yakuza.
I would hope that we could stay Sonic centric because there's a lot that we cover.
Yeah.
So branching out into others might be a lot, but hey, if it came with a pay increase, I could find more time in the day.
I will be the Daytona Lore Council.
Oh, I would absolutely recommend you.
I mean, you only need one. There's not much. There's not much to it. There's really not. I mean, I guess someone else could be too. It would be nice to have someone to talk to about it, but I mean, there's really not a lot to it. It's pretty straightforward. Anyway,
don't they go around curves and in circles?
Go fast, turn left. No,
so
you turn.
It isn't straightforward. It just turns.
That's right. But there's a lot of right turns in Daytona, actually, too. So there's only one. Well, there's two oval tracks, I suppose. No, three. Now that I think about it, there's like 3 oval tracks. The rest are all. They all have left and right turns. It's crazy.
All right. That's going to wrap us up for this BumbleKast Live. Thank you again to Jen and Professor Rye for managing all these questions. Thank you guys for submitting everything that you did, and extra special thanks to all the super chats. You guys make like a crazy difference. The show is leaps and bounds what we ever thought it would be, and it's all because of you guys. And that's not just me hyping you up. That's quite literally true. Let's see. Sorry, brain is getting fried here at the end.
That's okay.
If you are in the Greater Toronto area next weekend, I will be at Fan Expo, table P11A. Come on by, say hi, buy a book or two, help me cover all the table expenses. It would be lovely. And with that coming up, no, I guess we do have to record some months. You know what? I'm babbling to myself.
It's all good.
Literally at the end of my rope here. So be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.
Yep. See you next time. Oh, also don't forget, we will get to your the leftover super chats in upcoming episodes. So stick around, stay tuned. Thank you. You guys are awesome. So see you next time.